This Week with Bob Mueller on News 2.
This week,
congratulations, Darryl Powell.
in a private early morning event, Nashville's new mayor, Freddie O'Connell, took the oath and began his 4-year term.
It's time to begin to ban assault weapons like the past.
Tennessee lawmakers take part in President Biden's announcement
So very important when you think about the Office of Gun Violence Prevention.
of the first Office of Gun Violence Prevention.
I just can't figure out why the Republicans continue wanting to attack our public education system.
Tennessee's House Speaker and Lieutenant Governor form a study group considering rejecting $2 billion in federal education money.
The federal government decided to cut those funds off to Tennessee.
Millions in federal health dollars denied to Tennessee are now headed to an organization the governor calls radical.
29 members on a commission is too many.
And proposed changes to the makeup of the Tennessee Historical Commission, which has say over the fate of Confederate monuments. Hello again, and welcome to another edition of This Week. Nashville has its 10th mayor. Freddie O'Connell took the oath this week. Millions of federal health dollars denied to Tennessee are now headed to Planned Parenthood. The president creates the first Office of Gun Violence Prevention. You will hear from a Tennessee lawmaker who was there. But we begin with Republican lawmakers considering rejecting billions in federal education money, citing too many strings attached.
Speaker of the House Cameron Sexton and Lieutenant Governor Randy McNally announced Monday the creation of a new group of lawmakers to look at the possibility of rejecting federal education funds.
Let's say, hey, here's $1 million to do X. Well, suddenly, if the state has to hire 10 people and they have to contract out with 4 people and it costs us $1.5 million, is that a good deal for Tennessee economically?
Tennessee currently accepts just south of $2 billion in federal education funding. Democrats say it'd be completely irresponsible to simply throw that money away.
You know, I just can't figure out why the Republicans continue wanting to attack our public education system.
House Democratic Caucus Chairman John Ray Clemens slammed the announcement, saying Tennesseans should reap the benefits of the federal tax dollars they pay.
It's wasteful spending, and we're double billing the Tennessee taxpayers.
Sexton floated the idea back in February of this year and said the state has the money to cover the costs, which confused Democrats.
If we do have additional state funds that we can use, we definitely should use it for something else. There are so many needs that people across Tennessee have.
Bristol Republican Senator John Lundberg will chair up the group. He says he's not sure how he feels quite yet about the federal funding, but he says he definitely supports at least looking at it.
It's easy to say, hey, you get $2 billion, you can spend it on whatever you want. That's not how the federal government works.
Capitol leadership says the first meeting for the Joint Working Group on Federal Education Funding has yet to be determined.
The federal government denied Tennessee millions in federal funding back in April, and now that money will be going elsewhere, to an organization Governor Lee calls radical. So what is the governor going to do now? News 2's Adam Mincer with details.
Planned Parenthood now has its hands on millions of dollars Governor Lee wanted.
The federal government has now funneled those dollars that were coming to our state into political agencies, frankly.
In the spring, Tennessee lost out on millions in federal health care funding. The reason? The state not including information about abortion for pregnant women seeking health care.
The federal government decided to cut those funds off to Tennessee. And what that did was it left women and children at risk that we wanted to serve.
But that money didn't just disappear. $3.9 million went to Planned Parenthood in Virginia, which the president of Tennessee's Planned Parenthood says will now be sent here.
So this does bring some stability to family planning services in Tennessee for some time.
When the government denied Tennessee Title X funding, Lee proposed a budget amendment of $7.5 million in reoccurring state funds to fill the gap. Title X is meant to provide low-income people with family planning services, but while used for counseling, can't be used to pay for abortions.
This funding does not cover the cost of our navigation services or the money that we provide to patients to travel out of state.
You may remember a few years back when there was a battle to remove the bust of former KKK Grand Wizard Nathaniel Bedford Forrest from the state capitol. Ultimately, officials did vote to remove the bust with Governor Bill Lee's blessing. But then came the aftermath.
Just felt like 29 members on a commission is too many. So we'll probably bring that back and try to decrease the number.
Hohenwald Republican Senator Joey Hensley filed a bill to decrease the number of members on the Tennessee Historical Commission. He originally introduced a modified version of the bill back in 2021 after the KKK Wizard debate. Then he brought it back this year before kicking it to 2024.
And we're really trying to get more of the commissions across the board where the legislature has more input.
The Historical Commission Board currently has 29 members. Within 3 weeks of the vote on Forrest's bust, Lee replaced 6 of those members. Hensley's bill would vacate the entire board and bring the total number down to 20. 5 from the Speaker of the Senate or Lieutenant Governor, 5 from the Speaker of the House, 6 from the Governor, and then the state historian, state archaeologist, state librarian, and the Commissioner of Environment or their designee.
Then you've got the consistent, just pulling and tugging between the legislature and the governor. The governor has basically ceded all power and responsibility to the state legislature.
Democrats thrashed the idea, saying it's a clear attempt to keep things like Confederate monuments.
What are you trying to protect? What are you trying to rush through? How do you intend to try to use that board once you have control of it?
In Nashville, Chris O'Brien.
Now to our This Week cover story. Nashville has its new mayor. In an early morning private ceremony this week, former Metro Council member Freddie O'Connell took the oath to become Nashville's 10th mayor since the formation of the Metro form of government.
Congratulations, Mayor O'Connell.
With his hand on a Bible from his father, Freddie O'Connell swore his oath and became Nashville's 10th mayor since the forming of the Metro form of government.
It's an exciting morning. It was very nice to start the school day in a way that still lets the girls get to school on time, but now we'll go downstairs and get right to work.
The mayor knows one of the biggest challenges he faces is the ongoing feud between the Republican supermajority legislature and the city of Nashville.
I think you've heard it all summer. One of the biggest challenges overall is where the state and local relationship is. And so, that is also going to be a part of what we get started with today. Is I have already talked to several state legislators. I have talked to folks in the governor's office. I have talked to some of the key constitutional officers at the state level. Those conversations will continue because I think as we re-engage in a conversation of regionalism, we know that not just Nashville but all of Middle Tennessee has to be successful, and that's only going to happen if this doesn't feel like two warring factions but rather key partners.
The mayor is looking forward to serving all of Nashville.
I think for me, this is the process of making sure that everyone sees Metro government working on their behalf. As you just saw, my 2 daughters, they are off to public school. I'm looking forward to making sure that their teachers remain the best paid in the state of Tennessee. I am looking forward to the opportunity to have so many of the people that we talk to that know we need better sidewalks and transit, that they get their needs satisfied. And it's an interesting division between the challenges and the opportunities, but I think we have an incredible opportunity here to have a safe, successful city, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
The new mayor is ready to begin on what he calls his 15 fixes.
None of them are easy, but all of them are appropriate and necessary. We put the list together knowing that none of them would be done on day one. Some of them are easier than others. We know that it will be a multi-year effort to try to get universal aftercare in place. It would be a multi-year effort to try to change high school start times. It will probably be at least a year effort to get all of the legal arrangements and staffing arrangements to make solid waste not a part of our Metro Water Department anymore and make sure we've got something set up there. Some of them we may be able to accomplish more quickly, though, and we're staying focused on that list.
And the mayor believes he and the new Metro Council can work together productively.
I'm very encouraged. I think there is a lot of capacity for some shared goals. And I think a lot of the council understands the important priorities of the city that range from safety to affordable housing to how we move around the city. I think there's a lot of commonality around how people campaign and sensitivity to making sure that as Nashville grows, we do so in the best possible way.